Welcome back to Crystal Clear. I'm Oshrik Vox, and the time has finally come. The official titles for the final 4 episodes of Steven Universe Future, the entire Steven Universe franchise as we know it, are finally here, and boy, oh boy. If you don't want any theories either confirmed or shattered, this is not the video for you. That being said, I'm already gonna issue a spoiler warning right off the bat because these titles do make or break theories. With all that said, let's dive in. Now, I know even with these episode titles, some people are going to say, come on, that doesn't confirm or deny anything. And at this point, it's just like, come on, man. Obviously, the Crewniverse understands fandom. They understand that people make theories upon theories of what could happen next. And of course, they can add some red herrings. However, I don't believe this in particular is a red herring because that relies on way too many coincidences when the Crewniverse was even planning this final season in the first place. They would somehow have had the foresight to see that people would connect the dots right away on what this certain plot point was, and also come up with a deceiving episode title nearly a year in advance. Animation takes a very long time, and unfortunately, those hours upon hours, days upon days, weeks upon weeks that it takes to make an episode of a television show, it doesn't always protect itself from fans figuring out said twist of said hard work within mere seconds. I've probably already made it obvious, so let's run through these episode titles. Friday, March 27th at 7 p.m., we have Homeworld Bound. At 7:15 p.m., we have Everything's Fine. At 7:30 p.m., we have I Am My Monster. And at 7:45 p.m., we have the series finale of Steven Universe Future, simply titled The Future. Of course, there's a lot to unpack here, so let's try to do so briefly because I'm currently in between many videos for this channel that I want to get out to you guys ASAP. Your subscription boxes may get a little crazy this week. We'll adjust soon. But anyways, Homeworld Bound. This is the episode that's attached to the movie screening. I feel as if it'll pick up from where Fragments left off. If not, the episode Fragments will set the stage for this episode, as I'm pretty sure Fragments will involve the diamonds. I believe that's more than likely the most opportune time for a pink white diamond episode, but Homeworld Bound is what sets the stage. Since it is attached to the movie, and the previous episode could already involve the diamonds, I believe Homeworld Bound will be the Spinel-focused episode of Steven Universe Future. Now, a title like this makes it sound like there's going to be traveling to Homeworld, but Steven has a galaxy warp attached to his house through the diamond base. Now, perhaps something happens to that warp pad, and he has to take a different vessel there. Perhaps he has to travel to Homeworld by going through Lion's Mane and Lars's head, which would allow us to see Lars in Lars of the Stars attire one final time, although I can't imagine they would leave him out of the finale. But yes, I believe this episode will set in motion the final conflict of the episode, which comes into play with Everything's Fine. Now, this and I Am My Monster are pretty on the nose, but I don't think they're really trying to mislead us, as other on-the-nose titles were pretty straightforward, and those were for game-changing episodes. Reunited. We know Ruby and Sapphire are going to reunite, though because of the podcast slip-up, Cartoon Network already shot themselves in the foot and gave away that yeah, the diamonds are coming soon, and they're somehow going to make amends with Steven. Or what about the episode of Single Pale Rose? Nothing from that episode got out, but a lot of people, even me on a video hours before it aired, I remember that vividly, kind of realized and accepted that this episode would confirm that Rose Quartz's pink diamond just because the title Single Pale Rose was clearly referring to Pearl, who, when shapeshifted, would have the appearance of a paler rose quartz. So Everything's Fine sounds like the general statement Steven will give everyone through this episode. Oh, everything's fine, I promise, everything's chill. But things won't be fine. Steven will be at his wit's end, and we'll see the breaking point, which takes us to the penultimate episode, I Am My Monster. Now already, this title is clearly a callback to I Am My Mom, and something I've stated before is that Future will give us a definitive answer of how Steven feels about Pink Diamond, how we as an audience should feel about Pink Diamond, although I'm sure we'll still have our own opinions, but we'll have the context of Future's ending to put everything into perspective. Something that Future has planted the seeds of here and there is that Steven is behaving just like his mother. He's not her, but he acts like her, much like how almost anyone would take after their parents or parental guardian. A lot of the times, it can come down to being hereditary and DNA. The environment you're in does matter, but what's in your blood and where it came from, that matters just as much. a lot of people view Pink Diamond as a monster. Steven doesn't want to think of his mother in that way, and I'm sure he doesn't want to think of himself in that way. However, going off the heels of Everything's Fine, do we even have to hide it? Steven's gonna get corrupted. I Am My Monster is Steven turning into that giant monster from the opening. I'm sure they'll start setting it up soon, perhaps in the episode Growing Pains. The fact of the matter is, like, yeah, we haven't seen the episode yet. Yeah, we don't even have the description. But the only other villain on the theme song, which was heavily speculated to be Steven, and having an episode titled I Am My Monster, which is a callback to the episode where Steven turns himself in, claiming that he's his mother. I mean, I personally just don't see the point in debating it, speculating, well, maybe it could mean this or that. It's a straightforward title. Steven Universe has always had them without it being misleading. Fun fact, the only actual episode title the Crewniverse kind of intended to be misleading sounds like it was Rising Tides Crashing Skies, going off previous discussions on the podcast, but they also stated on that podcast that last one out of Beach City, which that and Gem Harvest, a lot of people assume were purposely misleading titles. They confirmed, oh no, we just put those titles and then the internet did its thing. I truly don't believe they're not trying to mislead us, but also, of course, I've always been partial to the Corrupted Steven theory, so of course I would feel that way. But yeah, this is the climax of the series, Steven corrupting, becoming a giant monster, and his friends needing to get through to him. But I just want to reach out to the people at home. If you believed Corrupted Steven and you were put down on the internet for it, this is your time to thrive. Be happy, be loud, be shameless about it. This seems kind of random, but just over the months, I've seen increasing toxicity and hostility towards people who supported the Corrupted Steven theory by people going, oh, it doesn't make sense in the show's lore. There's no possible way that could be Steven. It's a dumb theory that makes no sense. Oh my god, Steven sneezed, he's gonna get corrupted. That's what you people sound like. Those are the people I saw bashing others who were just really into the theory and wanted to see it happen, not for the sake of edge, but just because it's an interesting story. Not everything's about edge and angst. For me, I'm 22 years old, been in this theory game for years. I've grown tough skin. For everyone out there who doesn't make theories on cartoons regularly, who are younger than I, and they were interested in this theory, if any of those jerks came at you, just celebrate that this theory is 99% pretty much happening. I will sound like Boo-Boo the fucking fool if it doesn't, but like, come on, at this point, what else could it be? And hey, if you just never vibed with the theory and you still don't, and you never put anyone down for it, that's fine. You're fine, you're valid, keep doing you. Sorry to suddenly break the fourth wall, I guess, in my video, but again, it was just something I saw a lot of, and it's not acceptable. It's a theory, and one that's canon, and the same people putting down Corrupted Steven were also probably against Rose Quartz's Pink Diamond, and that's coming from someone who was against Rose Quartz's Pink Diamond, but come on, do we really need to go through the rodeo twice? Regardless, I believe Steven's getting corrupted. The episode's on the nose as hell, but again, I doubt the Crewniverse made this episode and gave it that title with the intention of, and then, almost a year from now, it'll go on Zap to it on a Sunday night, and people will believe it's Corrupted Steven. Like, they probably didn't even know this episode was going to air when they made this. The show's production has always been 2 steps ahead of what we're seeing on TV. But nonetheless, 7:45 p.m., we have the series finale, The Future. Now, I believe this may just be the resolution, you know, time to end the show, time to wrap everything up. What does Steven want for his future? He'll find out here. But a lot of people are also speculating it may be a time skip. How far in the future, I don't know, but keep in mind, Rebecca Sugar already said she's not done working with these characters, even if Future's the last animated series. I believe they're gonna want to keep the door open for more adventures in the future, so ending on a time skip, it kind of diminishes that idea a little bit. I just believe Steven's going to leave Beach City, and we won't see anything beyond that. Maybe we'll see his return and where he ends up, but yeah, no crazy expectations here, but then again, I have a sneaky suspicion it's going to be crazy nonetheless, so that's where I am on that. But as always, these are just my thoughts, and I want to hear yours. What do you think? What could happen in these final episodes? How do you feel about essentially having Corrupted Steven confirmed? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts at Roundtable Vids. And for more of my own thoughts, you can find me at Fox. We're also on Instagram. Help Roundtable grow by either becoming a member of this channel or supporting us over at Patreon. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. Fox, signing out.